Hola! Today, we're conjugating stem changing verbs. But today we're focusing on those that have an O on the stem and that O is going to change to UE. Hi, I'm teacher Catalina and I teach Spanish. If you're looking for a place to learn Spanish or practice your Spanish, you're at the right place. So I'd like to encourage you to click that subscribe button so that you and I can continue learning together. Also, while you're at it, smash that like button. It really helps my channel. To my loyal viewers, thank you so much. It is because of you that I am able to bring these lessons to everyone. By the way, if you have not yet been to teachercatalina.com, I encourage you to go check it out. You can find this handout specifically for this video and a ton more. And by the way, all of the resources are free. There are 3 types of stem changing verbs. During our last lesson, we covered stem changing verbs E to IE, and you can find that lesson right here. Today, we're focusing on O to UE stem changing verbs. And if you're ready or you want to continue learning, you can find E to I stem changing verbs lesson right here. So let's look at the verb recordar. Recordar. Recordar means to remember. Recordar is what we call a stem changing verb O to UE. And if you watched that previous lesson, you know that basically that O in the stem is going to change to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. Of course, recordar is also an AR verb, so we have to use the AR verb endings when we're changing the endings so we know who is performing the action. Since recordar means to remember, this is the perfect time to remember and review the parts of a verb. Now remember, the AR, ER, or IR is what we call the ending of the verb. Whatever's left over, that's the stem. And on stem changing verbs, we have a change on the stem, but also the ending. Unless we are conjugating in the nosotros and vosotros form, which they don't have any stem change. So make sure that you remember, recuerda. So let's go ahead and conjugate the verb recordar to remember together. Now remember the rules that O will change to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. There's no stem change in nosotros and vosotros. So we have our subject pronouns. We have our endings for AR verbs too, just in case you need to kind of peek at them as you kind of get comfortable conjugating. And one more time, we will remember that O changes to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. So if I want to say I remember, I'm going to say yo recuerdo. Yo recuerdo. Again, that O changed to UE. And we went ahead and added an O at the end because that is the ending for AR verbs in the yo form. Tú recuerdas. Tú recuerdas. O changed to UE, and then we have the as ending at the end. Tú recuerdas. Él, ella, and usted recuerda. Él, ella, and usted recuerda. Now, we're at the nosotros conjugation. Remember, we do not stem change in nosotros or vosotros. So the correct conjugation is nosotros recordamos. Nosotros recordamos. Now, vosotros, no stem change either. So vosotros recordáis. Vosotros recordáis. And finally, ellos, ellas, and ustedes, we do stem change, so we will say recuerdan. Recuerdan. Ellos recuerdan, ellas recuerdan, and ustedes recuerdan. And just like that, we have all of the conjugations for the verb recordar, to remember. And please don't forget, recordar is a stem changer, so the O changes to UE in every single form except for nosotros and vosotros. So I hope that you saw how easy it was to conjugate stem changers, O to UE. Now, remember that O, I know I've said it multiple times, but you have to remember that O changes to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. So with that out of the way, let's conjugate another stem changer, the verb almorzar. Almorzar. To have lunch. That O will change to, I know you said it, Yui, in all forms except for, very good, except for nosotros and vosotros. The yo form of almorzar is almuerzo, almuerzo. Tú almuerzas, tú almuerzas. Él, ella, or usted almuerza, almuerza. Nosotros, did you remember? We don't stem change. Good. So nosotros almorzamos, almorzamos. Vosotros, no stem change, almorzáis, almorzáis. And ellos, ellas, and ustedes, definitely stem change. So we would say almuerzan, almuerzan. Ellos almuerzan, ellas almuerzan, and ustedes almuerzan. Here's an example. Yo almuerzo a la 1 de la tarde. Yo almuerzo a la 1 de la tarde. ¿A qué hora almuerzas tú? ¿A qué hora almuerzas tú? And remember, since I asked you a question, you should answer in the yo form because you're talking about yourself. So you could say, yo almuerzo al mediodía. Yo almuerzo al mediodía. Mediodía is noon. Here's another example with the verb almorzar. I want to say that we have lunch together. So I would say, nosotros almorzamos juntos. Nosotros almorzamos juntos. Juntos means together. Let's do one more stem changing verb together. That's the verb dormir. Dormir, to sleep. That O is going to change to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. But dormir is an IR verb. So let's go ahead and pop up our IR verb endings because we're going to use them. So again, O changes to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. And since it's an IR verb, we have to use IR verb endings. Ready? ¿Listos? Okay, let's do it. So I sleep. Yo duermo. Duermo. Tú duermes. Tú duermes. Él, ella, and usted duerme. Duerme. Nosotros, no stem change. Nosotros dormimos. Nosotros dormimos. Vosotros, no stem change either. Vosotros dormís. And ellos, ellas, and ustedes, definitely remember to stem change, duermen. Ellos duermen, ellas duermen, ustedes duermen. Maybe I want to say that my dog sleeps in late. Now remember, el perro would be considered a he. So I would say, el perro duerme hasta tarde. El perro duerme hasta tarde. Maybe I want to say, I don't sleep a lot. So I would say, yo no duermo mucho. Yo no duermo mucho. And that's it, friends. You now can conjugate stem changing verbs O to UE. Please remember the rules that O is going to change to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. And of course, we still have to conjugate the ending of that verb, whether it is an AR verb, an ER verb, or an IR verb. So now that you know the rules, make sure that you take a look at this list that I've provided for you with common stem changing verbs O to UE. I've circled the O for you so that you remember that is the O that has to change to UE. And since you already know the rules, I know you can conjugate these verbs easily. Don't forget, change the O to UE in all forms except for nosotros and vosotros. I think I've said that quite a bit today. So I know you will remember. Recuerda. And also, do not forget to go over the definition of these verbs. Make sure that you know what they mean so that you can use them accordingly and appropriately. Thank you so much for joining me for this grammar lesson today. Please remember that I do have a handout for you at teachercatalina.com. This specific handout to review everything we learned in this video. But of course, there's a ton of other free resources that you can find right there. Don't forget, teachercatalina.com. And while you're still here, go ahead and smash that like button. Please remember that it really helps my channel And if you have not yet subscribed, I'd love to see you again. Go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you and I can continue learning Spanish together. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos la próxima vez. See you next time. Adios.